Previously, what we have gone through is changing the style for a particular element with inline style or particular page with inline CSS. Now, let us begin to look at how we can change the CSS of elements that appear in different parts of the website. One example is the navigation bar. Let's say, if you want to customize the navigation bar, but the customization option is not available in the WordPress admin settings. In this case, it is more advisable to use CSS with a plugin instead. By using a plugin that loads CSS style sheet on all pages, you can use CSS to select and change elements that appear on all pages of your website. Depending on how the plugin works, you may be using the method of inline CSS for all pages or simply loading an external file as CSS in all pages. Let's proceed to install a plugin that can help you to load your custom CSS codes on your website for all pages. In this video, we are going to look at how we can use CSS with an external plugin on your WordPress website. Now, go to your plugin section under your administration toolbar and click Add New here. Simply search for the plugin that you want. So for us, we want a CSS. So let's try using CSS as a search term. As you can see, there are many options available for plugins that can help you to place CSS codes on your website. Now for me, I tried this and it looks good to me. Simple is good. So let's install and try. It has also a 5-star rating. Activate the plugin. Okay, one thing to note here is that every time you activate a plugin, they might have some settings that appear. So look for the settings and you can see here under appearance. The Milshi one is here and the custom CSS one is here. So let's go to this. You can see we just need to enter the CSS codes that we want here and then update it, and then we will have the effect applying on all pages on our website. Let me show you an example using the homepage here. So for example, our homepage right now, we have a semi-transparent navigation bar. So if I inspect it, we must look for the container, which is, I think it's this one. Here, the background color is here. So you can see. So now we need to override this code here. Now most of the time, usually the CSS codes in the plugin will override the codes on the website. Now if it doesn't, you can always use a more specific selector by selecting maybe the masthead as well before the site navigation in order to apply the changes. Okay, let me show you how to override this code here. So I copy the class selector, I paste it here, and then I remove the background by just simply saying none. Actually, this should already work because most of the time, external files like this, simple custom CSS, using a plugin, they usually overwrite like the styles here, because this is on the header of the document. As you can see, this is style.css, so let's look for the style.css document. It's about here, a lazy style.css. This is the theme name, and then this is the file. So it's quite high on top, so if you have any code below it, it will overwrite this one. So most of the time, you can overwrite codes on your theme with not much problem. But if there's a problem, you can always have a more specific selector. Maybe, let me just show you as an example here. Maybe I have the masthead as well. So I use this masthead. This one will actually work as well. And this one will be a stronger priority. So this makes sure that this background is none, unless there's an even more specific selector, but most of the time there will be. But let me just show you that even just this can work. So let's update and then refresh the page. As you can see, the background of the navigation bar has now gone. So our code here is actually taking effect right now. Let me go to the other page. You can see that it takes effect on every page. This is the About Me page. You can see About Me, and the menu is saved. If I go to the sample page, the menu is also like no background for the navigation bar. So this is one thing that you can use the CSS plugin because it applies to every page. So if you want to use this kind of CSS selector for just one page, you have to be careful because it might affect other pages as well. Let's say I want to change the page title. Okay, page title. They have a class name of entry title. So let's say I put this code here. Now you can chain element with class as well to be more specific. That make sure that it's a class of entry title and a HR element before this code take effect. The element usually is the one that will be in front, followed by the class or the ID. Now we can maybe change the color to orange. Now you can see it taking effect immediately. So if I copy this over here into our plugin, the custom CSS plugin, I paste it, I update, and if I refresh, this one should be in orange now. But what happens here is that if you go to About Me page, the title here has become orange. That's why I say you need to be careful when you use the global CSS style sheet to make changes to your website. This is why sometimes inline style and inline CSS can be quite useful because you only change the style of the current page that you entered the codes in. So let's put it back. If I remove them and I update, refresh, you can see the menu appearing again, the background of the menu, navigation bar, and then this goes back to black in color, the gray or black in color. So this is another way that you can use CSS. So before you start using CSS, maybe you can have a brainstorm to see where we would like the codes to be, because for this area here, you will apply to every pages. And if you use inline style, you will only apply to that particular element. If you use inline CSS, it will only apply to the particular page.